team and our whole program hopes that he has a good recovery. Everything is safe once they check him out. So our thoughts are with him and his family, and also with the Albany football program. As far as the game goes, it was a wild game. It was very similar to the type of game we expected coming into it. I think both teams are very similar in a lot of ways. And if you look at common opponents leading into this game, I mean, the game's played out exactly the same way. We were fortunate at the end that our offense was able to really get down the field and put the ball in the end zone and answer Albany scores in the second half. And we made some opportune stops on defense, and that was the difference in the game. Questions?
Yeah, Coach, especially the first half, defense really stepped up to 3 third-down stops, a goal line stand. Let me ask DeQuan, how big do you think that goal line stand was right before the half, DeQuan?
You gotta stay strong. That's what we did. We played together. Everybody was swarmed to the football. They could play down there.
Coming to the game, Albany, a high-powered offense. What was the mindset of the defense that you were entering the game?
We definitely knew the running back possibility. We knew he was a good back, and just watching film like day in and day out, we knew that it was going to take all of us to tackle him. And just watching film, like you could see like how many people were tackling by themselves. So we were just trying to run to the ball and get tackled.
Started 0-2. We never viewed ourselves as an 0-2 team. In fact, in each of those first 2 games, they could have gone either way. We felt that there were both games that we held fourth quarter leads. Weren't able to hang on to that lead in the fourth quarter. And consequently, we lost them. But coming out of those games, we felt we just had to put it together and play a complete game and finish the fourth quarter. And if we did that, those first 2 would have been wins. And I think in the last 4 weeks, we've done a much better job of finishing.
Kevin, talk about playing complementary football. You got the big plays offensively. You seem to get a lot of really big defensive stops today. Maybe talk about that and kind of feeding off each other.
Well, I think we're a team that does just that, Steve. We feed off each other, and we were fortunate to get a 4th down stop on the goal line, 4th and 1, and then the next play, Owen takes it all 99 yards for a touchdown. That's a huge play, and I guess that's the ultimate in playing complementary football. And even though we didn't, as a defense, we didn't stop Albany on a down after down basis, we did come up with some very opportune plays. Obviously, they had that one completion and run. We were able to knock the ball out. We recovered that. We took that in for a score. So I think as long as you're playing that way, we're going to give the ball back to our offense. And as you know, our offense has a lot of weapons and a lot of different ways that they can score. And it's the defense's job to get the ball back to them. However, we have to do it. We would like to be more consistent. We would like to be able to play a game where we're 3 and out on every series. But I mean, in today's football, I don't know if that's going to happen.
DeQuan, talk about the defensive intensity. You and the tight end seem to be going at it for a while there. It just seemed like when you guys had to make some plays, you made them out there today.
Yeah, it was definitely a physical game. They came out right from the jump, like trying to enforce the run, trying to run the ball, and we expected that. So coming out, we knew we had to be physical, and we did that all week throughout practice. And I mean, we came out and we were just prepared to play all 4 quarters.
Defensive wise, for Coach and Grimes, you guys got up to the 31-17 lead. Do you think that maybe you felt like, because you always want the team to try to work the field, they got to catch up. Do you think you kind of played a little bit too laid back, like lax, when they started to come back in the game?
I wouldn't necessarily say we played like laid back. I think we were definitely still like trying to get after it and trying to make some plays. They got guys too. I mean, they made some plays when they needed it, and I mean, the important thing that we just came back, and then we got that stop at the end of the game, and then fortunately we came out with a W.
And just from my contribution to that question, I mean, I think to say that we played laid back does not give enough credit to Albany's offense. They're very talented. They have an outstanding quarterback. They have a terrific running back. They have one of the best tight ends we've seen in a number of years, and they have a core of receivers that's very dynamic. And they're gonna make plays. And I don't think we were playing back. I think we made more plays on defense than their offense did in the first half, and they probably made more plays on offense than our defense did in the second half. So you gotta give them credit for the way they played as well.
Hey, Owen, sorry I got here late, but could you take me through the 99-yard run, what you saw? Did we do this already?
Just first of all, a huge shout out to the O-line. Like, none of this could be possible without them. I mean, anybody can run through those holes. You know, we got to get that short yardage, but I mean, it just ended up popping. And from then on, I was just running down, and I mean, that's just history at that point. I mean, I'm just running at that point. I don't really know.
So you're good from either 1 yard line, it doesn't matter, right?
Whatever they need me to do, that's what I always say. Whatever they need me to do, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Oh, and leading the FCS and scoring, how does that feel?
You know, I don't really think about that. Like I said, I just come in and think, how can I help my team? And like I said, the O-line does a huge, amazing job in doing what they do to allow me to do what I can do. So huge shout out to them. I just go do my thing.
Hey, Tony, maybe you could just talk about the confidence of this team now, 4 straight, you know, heading into a stretch of some really big games. Where is this team at in terms of confidence?
I mean, I think we all just genuinely believe that when we play our game, no one can beat us. Even just play to play, drive to drive, like the conversations that we have in the offensive huddle, and the defense have the same ones. It's just we're an extremely confident group. We know that we have guys outside, inside, on the long both sides of the line of scrimmage, guys that can make plays everywhere on the field. So we know when we're locked in, we play together, we play as one unit. There's not many people that can stop us in this country at all.
Tony, last possession for you guys, that first down play to Albany, that was huge. Want to go through that?
Yeah, that was definitely, I think, one of the biggest plays of the game. You know, we talk about, especially in the wide receiver, we have so many guys that can make plays, and they're just being ready for when your number's called. You know, we got Dominic backs, so Dominic's getting a lot of touches now. And so those are the guys that outside that, whenever their number's called, they step up and they make plays. As you saw, what was it? That was 3rd and, I think, 10, and we needed to keep the clock going to run them down to 1 minute. And he stepped up and made a great route. I was able to get the ball to him, made a great catch too. And so those type of plays, when you have so much depth at so many positions, we're able to get it, spread it out, get different guys, and it's really hard for the defense to defend.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
To piggyback off of talking about confidence, when people see the scores, they see that's a high-scoring game. But they didn't see like the physicality that you brought when you took on Greeny. They didn't see they see the 99-yard runs, but the tough yards that both you and the other gentleman, that's the name I forgot right now, both got. You guys ran for almost 300+ yards. You know, you were playing. You guys methodically came down with 5. Like you took a lot of time off that clock near the end of the 4th quarter. So it tells you a lot about the team that it's not just run, score. You guys can methodically do things also. Do you think that maybe you showcased that a lot today with this win? People that might not know.
Yeah, that just goes back to what I was talking about, the confidence we have. I have complete faith in our O-line, our receivers, and our defense side of the ball, our DBs, linebackers, and D-line. I think any way you need our team to play, we can step up and play that way. It's a close game, we can close it out. It's a high-scoring game, we can keep on scoring. If it's a ground and pounds, you know, when the ball gets stopped, we can do that too. So that just goes back to saying we have so many guys in so many positions that whatever way you want to play, whatever way we want to play, we can impose that and win that way too.
You brought up you have the offensive weapons right now, and it's really showing, especially with the running game. We've seen an offensive explosion happen over the past couple of games, especially today. You got a pair of touchdowns on both your running backs. Has that been the main focal point for the offense?
I wouldn't say it's the main focal point, but any time as an offense that you can effectively run the ball and do it well, and while you're doing that, hit explosive plays, it really opens up the entire offense for you. You know, we can attack any area of the field and force defenses to have to defend the entire field, both the width and the depth of the field. And if you're running the ball effectively, I think you wear on the other team. It makes it more difficult for them to rush the passer because they are getting worn down. And then that does open up things in your passing game, because if they have to commit extra defenders, leave more people in the box to defend the run, now you're creating more one-on-one situations for your receivers. So there's a balance there, and I think it does start with being able to run the ball, yeah.
But it's 231 yards rushing in the first half and then 1 yard in the third quarter. Did they make adjustments or was it just the situations of the game?
They were driving a lot of guys inside. They did a good job, I thought, at halftime. And, they started bringing the dog, we call him, but they were bringing the dog on a blitz. Not that you know what the dog is, but they were bringing that guy. And, slanting the line inside and all that. It made it difficult. It did open up some things in the pass game for us. But they were bringing the edge pressure, I guess I would say, quite a bit in the second half. And they were taking their defensive ends and they were making inside moves against our offensive tackles.
One last thing, 7 offsides penalties. Was that something in the cadence they were doing or something to be corrected?
Well, it's definitely something to be corrected. regardless of what happened. But that was just a lack of not being completely in tune on our part. I think it's an aggressive mistake. It wasn't like a couple of them we jumped, and the cadence may have gotten us, but a couple of them we just lined up in the neutral zone before the ball was snapped.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.